Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm your host, Belmont, and today we're going to be jumping straight into the culture war. The live action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon has released a teaser trailer, as it were, and there's some controversy around some of the casting. Now, they would make you think that all the controversy revolves around Astrid's casting, which is this person right here. This is Hiccup. This is Astrid. And as you can see, she looks nothing like the main female character from the movie, even though they did a pretty good job with Hiccup. But it seems to be around a lot of the casting. One, her. Two, Rough Nut and Tough Nut don't look anything like their characters in the movies. They're both redheaded in this for some reason. And more importantly, Rough Nut is kind of fat, for lack of a better term, and you wouldn't have fat people on an island that's struggling to survive because they're under constant attack, that's having their food sources stolen from them by dragons. Everyone would be more on the lean side. It was pretty unbelievable that Stoic was as big as he was, just because you would require a lot of protein and a lot of a high caloric diet in order to maintain that kind of mass. But, the children were definitely all kind of lean except for the one huge fat kid, which I guess they're playing on that. I haven't even seen him in the casting yet, so I don't know if he's going to be like the same kind of dumpy kid. I think it was played by McLovin. But I had a problem with that character, too. I was like, why is this kid fat? Like, how did he get fat? If they're having their food stolen from them by dragons. But I'm ranting on that. Let's jump into this Collider article. So How to Train Your Dragon director addresses live-action Astrid casting controversy. We're crafting a fantasy, not historical fact. Remember that phrase right there. It's going to be important in a minute. As anticipation builds for the live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon, one casting choice has sparked a senseless debate. I got to stop right there already because is anticipation building? I'm a huge How to Train Your Dragon fan, and I didn't want a live-action adaptation. I wanted just more animated films. But hey, that's just me. I'm just one guy. Nico Parker, known for her breakout role as Sarah in HBO's The Last of Us, was cast as Astrid, the fearless Viking warrior who serves as Hiccup's love interest in the series. But the casting has come with criticism for one reason. Parker is not white, nor does she have blonde hair. That's two reasons, guy. Who wrote this? Chris McPherson? Yeah, you say one reason and the immediate list two. You're as bad as the film's director, Dean DeBlois, because he took to Instagram to address the criticism, revealing that the casting process focused on finding actors who captured the spirit and personality of the characters rather than adhering strictly to their animated counterparts. What does the spirit mean? That's such a vague term. This is like the kind of thing you say when you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, it's the spirit and the personality of it. It's because you don't have a way to address the claims appropriately. We auditioned many actors for the roles, including actors who looked like their animated counterparts, he explained. He went on to explain how Parker's casting made sense for the story's world building. The tribe in this version is made of descendants of the finest dragon fighters from everywhere the Vikings had ever traveled, which historically was far and wide. Vikings mixed with many cultures. Still, we're crafting fantasy, not historical fact. Dude couldn't even make it 2 sentences without contradicting his own statement. Historically, they traveled far and wide, but this is not historical fact. Okay, yeah, I get that. In real life, Vikings traveled everywhere. They took concubines. The vast majority of the people that the Vikings didn't, mesh with or didn't agree with, that they captured, were sold into slavery. They didn't keep them around. But more importantly, in the world of How to Train Your Dragon, these Vikings were isolated, and their biggest competition when they traveled was other Viking clans and islands near them. It was pretty heavily shown that they didn't travel around, they didn't fight, they didn't capture people the way normal Vikings do. They spent all their time fighting dragons because dragons were indigenous to this specific part of the world. They weren't all over the place. Other people in other lands wouldn't know how to fight dragons because dragons were from this area. Like, that was the entire, like, problem they had. Is that if they went other places, they were like, oh, well, we didn't really know what you're talking about. What is a dragon? Dragons were in that area. It just, you don't know the lore. You're trying to do world building and trying to capture the spirit of the world, but you just don't know what the world is. But instead of a completely new tale, we aim to embellish and deepen without abandoning the story that fans love. No, you have abandoned it already. You've abandoned it. When you are saying that dragons are all over the world when they're really not, when you're saying that these Vikings are not historically accurate, but then they act the way historically accurate Vikings acted, you've destroyed the entire world building that was built by the movies and the show. That's what you've done. Of course, criticism over casting actors of color in roles previously played by white people is not unusual. We can easily cite the examples of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, where Hermione was played by a black actress. That was a stage production. That was like a play. Very few people actually have seen this because it was a play, and if you didn't live in the area, you probably didn't see it. The only visual descriptor of Hermione in the books refers to her teeth and her bushy hair, but not because Emma Watson played the role. This meant that it was locked to a white actress, but because she played the role. Whoa. It also says her eyes are brown in color in the book. And I'm going to have to go ahead and stop you right here. This is not the only visual descriptor of Hermione in the books. In, I believe it's Goblet of Fire, she's described as being pale, which, yes, I get it. Black people can be pale. But she's also described as being tanner than usual in the beginning of Prisoner of Azkaban. Also, yes, I get it. Black people can be tanned, but usually they refer to the term, they use the term darkened. But most importantly, in Prisoner of Azkaban, when Hermione and Harry are rescuing Buckbeak, it literally says in the book, Harry could see Hermione's white face from behind the tree. It's in print. And I get that J.K. Rowling said in a tweet that she never described her skin color, but she did. But she just forgot that she wrote it because, she wrote all those books. She's probably written other stuff. And it's pretty hard to remember every detail of everything you've ever written. Because I've written over 50 articles, and I could probably only remember like 3 or 4 of them offhand. I could not tell you everything I've ever written in every article I've published. No fucking way am I going to be able to remember that. So I don't blame J.K. Rowling for that. I don't care that Hermione was black, but to say that this is her only physical description shows that Mr. McPherson here has never actually read the books or never retained the knowledge if he's read the books. But there is a physical description of Hermione beyond bushy hair, big teeth, brown eyes, which he doesn't even have the eyes in here, right? Only visual descriptor, teeth and bushy hair. Wrong, buddy. You're wrong right there because brown eyes is part of her description. But here's some further proof that Hermione is white. Every character who has black skin or dark skin in the novels is specifically described as having skin of that color. J.K. Rowling goes out of her way in her writing to address the fact that these people have dark skin. Zabini Blaze, Angela, and Gryffindor. Like, there are characters that are black in Harry Potter's world, and they are described as such. All right? And then another step that's going to I'm going to use is that J.K. Rowling herself has said that Hermione was based on herself as her younger version of herself. It was like the way she... I don't remember the exact wording of it, but she has stated that she based Hermione on herself. Last time I checked, J.K. Rowling was a white woman. So, This whole statement just bugs the shit out of me. Like, the whole argument that Hermione isn't white is like moot because it is described as white. Do I care that a black actress played her? No, it was a play. But if we're going to be true to the character, Hermione is basically assumed to be white. All the promotional materials before the movies came out depicted her as white. All the artwork she's in before the movies came out depicted her as white. So it's pretty safe to assume that Hermione was meant to be a Caucasian character. Back to this article. Similarly, Halle Bailey faced backlash when she was cast as Ariel, another character who was portrayed as white in The Little Mermaid, the Disney animated classic. Yeah, she's portrayed as white in The Little Mermaid because The Little Mermaid is a story based out of, where was it? Like the Dutch coast. And if you've ever been to the Dutch coast, a bunch of white people. Like if you've ever been to Amsterdam, it's a bunch of white people usually, especially in like the 1600s or whenever this story was set for The Little Mermaid. But like, it's also their characters, they're creatures that are undersea, so they don't receive light. And I don't remember who said it. Someone said it online, but it's most likely that, if anything, the Little Mermaid should have translucent skin and be a horrifying monster. But yeah, the worst part about the Little Mermaid live action with Disney is that they went to the trouble to straighten and give her red hair but made her black. Like, if you're going to make her black, just give her black. Just let her have like natural hair. Why did it have to be straightened and red? Like, you went to that trouble to make her look like Ariel, but then you cast a black actress. That's the problem, is like, you're tokenizing characters. And it just, yeah, I didn't care about that. Like, a lot of people did, though. Like, a whole lot of people. Because The Little Mermaid's an established character. And not only is The Little Mermaid an established character, her specific look is copyrighted by Disney. The pale skin, that specific, like, green tail, the red hair, the seashell bra, copyrighted. In other versions of The Little Mermaid, they have to change the way she looks because Disney has that copyrighted. So if they're cared so much to copyright her appearance, why did they change it? Right? Why did they change it? If Disney doesn't want other people making the Little Mermaid story, which isn't owned by Disney, that's public domain. Anybody can make a story called The Little Mermaid. But that specific Ariel, owned by Disney, copyrighted by Disney, prevented from other people using it. Why did they change it then? Kind of weird. That's what people were having a problem with. I don't have a problem as much as that as I do with people saying that, oh, well, Hermione has to be black now. Because a lot of people online are saying that, oh, well, she's clearly black because of her description. Bushy hair, big teeth, brown eyes. And what I have to say to those people is, you have a very narrow view of what black people are, if that's what you think. But, let's get back to this article. However, there's one thing that Astrid, Ariel, and Hermione have in common. They are not real. Correction, they are fictional characters. What is real? Not to get all, Morpheus from the Matrix on you, but what is real? Can you define real? Defining real, asking someone to define what real means is like asking a biologist to define life. They won't do it. They can't do it, and it's too ambiguous for anyone to actually nail down. And if you don't believe me, go find, if you know somebody who's a biologist, ask them to define life for you. They probably won't do it. I'm rambling so bad. What does it matter who is cast in the role if they're good at it? Wolverine is Canadian, but Hugh Jackman is Australian. Get rid of him. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say this. One, most people don't even know that Wolverine is Canadian, but there was a whole shitstorm of people online when Hugh Jackman was cast as Wolverine because of his height. And if you don't believe me, I don't know if you can dig up old Reddit posts or you definitely can't find old 4chan posts. Well, no, 2000. God, this was probably GeoCities. People were probably arguing on GeoCities pages back then. But, like, Yeah, there was a lot of controversy about Hugh Jackman because of his height. Like nobody even knew. I didn't know he was Australian when he first came out. I knew Wolverine was Canadian because I have a ton of Wolverine comics. But there was also controversy about their outfits because they were wearing black leather, and everyone's like, why aren't they wearing their costumes? There's a whole shitstorm of controversy around the original X-Men movie. And yeah, people did want to get rid of Hugh Jackman. They're like, too tall, not muscular enough. Now he is muscular enough, and they've gotten over the height thing, but like, especially with Deadpool and Wolverine and the joke about the comically accurate, where he's like, he's supposed to be, I think, 5'3" canonically in the comics. But Ashka Tana is a Togruta, but Rosario Dawson is a human woman. Yeah, but Rosario Dawson let them paint her skin orange. Zoe Saldana, if I'm pronouncing that right, the woman who played Gamora, painted her skin green. Some people, they get in the roles. This was the problem people had with Starfire and Teen Titans. They were like, why isn't she orange? And everyone's like, oh, you're racist because she's black. And it's like, no. We want to know why she isn't orange. We don't care that she's black. We just want her to be orange. We should cancel Star Wars? No, you should cancel Star Wars because Disney sucks. They suck at making Star Wars movies. All their Star Wars stuff has been not to my liking. I haven't enjoyed a single project. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. And then it kind of fell off a cliff, and every episode it got a little worse, which I've said many times. And I haven't seen, oh God, what's that one called? Andor, which people tell me I should watch because it's grounded and real, but I'm not giving any more money to Disney, so. The narrative over whitewashing now being replaced by the exact opposite is nonsense at best and harmful at worst. Parker will be a tremendous asset, and How to Train Your Dragon will be better for her presence. It will fly into theaters June 13th, 2025. Stay tuned to Collider for more updates. Yeah, if people hate whitewashing, then it's okay for people to hate tokenizing. Right? But the issue isn't like, I get whitewashing as a problem because, like, when you're changing historical characters, it's a problem. When they made Anne Boleyn black, it was a problem. When they made Cleopatra black, it was a problem. You shouldn't alter history. That's for damn sure. And that's what most whitewashing was, I believe. They were like, oh, these are historical figures played by white characters. But you can't really look at stuff that happened like before the 60s because they just didn't have access to actors at the time that met the requirements. But when you're making an adaptation, people just want a faithful adaptation. That's it. That's all they want. They want to look at this thing that used to be and this thing that's going to be, and they want to associate them together. Like, if you're going to make a new story with new characters and new things, don't name them the original. Change everything, right? Don't make them Hiccup. Don't make her Astrid. Change it all. Don't make this Toothless. I don't know. It's just wild. The thing that really set me off with this article was clearly the Harry Potter thing. This I care less about. I just wish you'd have made her blonde. Like, because, like, if you'd have shown me this picture right here and given her, like, a blonde wig or blonde hair, I would not be able to tell you that this person was a multiracial person or a black person. Not on sight, and I wouldn't make that association. I would just be like, I don't know who this is, because I don't know who this is. I haven't watched The Last of Us. I don't give a shit about that game. I don't give a shit about that show. I think The Last of Us was horribly cast just from looking at the cast, because, again, adaptations, they don't look anything like the characters. She doesn't look anything like the characters. Hiccup looks pretty good so far. The other characters, let's see what we can get. How to Train Your Dragon live action. I've only seen like 2 characters. I want to know what Gerard Butler is going to look like. Yes, he's got curly hair normally, but then you look at this image, they straightened it so his hair matches Hiccup's. Like, had they given her the blonde hair, I don't think people would complain because most people like me wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't go, oh, why is this? I wouldn't even know this was a black person if you didn't tell me, because I don't really look at skin color that way. But here we go. Yeah, see, so that's supposed to be Rough Nut. Oh god, I can never remember his character. He's the beef. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what I want to see. Yeah, see, I don't know any of these people. Look at him. Okay, so he's kind of got the chin going on. I'll give him that. He's got the face shape. He doesn't have the big chin, but like this, it's kind of unrealistic to expect people to have massive chin. Nick Frost. Okay. I'll get behind that. Now, how is Gerard Butler going to be wearing a big fat suit to make him look huge? But yeah, see, this guy, like, you can't get that feature. This was with a kid that annoyed me because I was like, why is he fat? Even when I watched the original, I was like, why is he fat? I thought these people were starving. But what's the second image here? Oh, it's an image of... it's a fake second image? Oh, there we go. Who? I don't even know who this is. But it seems like an off casting. But yeah, there we go. That's it. That's your cast right there. And like, yeah, I don't know. This person looks Hispanic. So she looks black here, but she looks mixed to me. I don't know her history. But we'll see. Maybe it'll be good. I doubt it. Mostly because live action adaptations, in my mind, are completely unnecessary and usually aren't good compared to the original. Like, did anybody even care about... let's see what... They liked Lion King. Little Mermaid didn't really do well. What other ones have they done? I don't know. They're doing Moana. It looks bad. Like, I don't know. They showed a shot of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and it was let's see if I can find it. It looks like he's wearing like a fat suit or something. It's weird, and he's probably not. He probably just went on like an extreme bulk diet. Oh, it's the fake tattoos. It's making him look like thicker than he is, I think, just because it's the color mappings off. I don't know. It's weird looking. But we'll see how that is. I'm not gonna interested in that at all. But yeah, like this scene especially, I was like, oh, he looks weird. He looks too wide in the stomach. I don't know if they like did something to him, like put like some prosthetics on the side. Or like I said, if he bulked up, but I'm getting all kinds of rambly on this. So that's my take on this. I just want adaptations to be faithful, and that's what most people want. And again, like I said, if you'd have just put a blonde wig on her right here, I wouldn't have known anything. I didn't even know anything until they started saying stuff. I looked at her hair and went, why does her hair look like ass? Like, it doesn't look like the character. Just, it takes away from it. And Rough Nut and Tough Nut also bothering me. Them being redheads and not being blondes. It's like, okay, what happened to all the blonde Scandinavian people? We got something against that? And it seems like they do. And this director's quote really fucking riled me up, man. It's historical... Not historical. Historical, not historical. Dude, get it together, man. But I could probably go on for fucking hours about this nonsense. So we'll just call it there. That's all I have for this video. Belmont out.